The difference between spending and investing: most people see money as something to spend. They earn it, pay bills, buy things, and that's it. The wealthy, on the other hand, see money as a tool for multiplying. They spend less than they earn and use the surplus to invest, whether in businesses, financial assets, or knowledge. Imagine two people with the same income. One buys a new $1,000 cell phone. The other invests that money in a fund that yields 10% per year. In 10 years, the second person will have over $120,000. The first will have an outdated cell phone. Immediate action. Review your last 5 expenses and ask yourself, did this bring me a return or just consumption? Benefit. By changing this mindset, you start building wealth. Every dollar stops being just an expense and starts working for you. Pillar. Scarcity versus abundance mindset. People with a scarcity mindset constantly say, I can't, this isn't for me. Those with an abundance mindset, however, ask, how can I? What do I need to learn? Who can help me? Scarcity. Abundance energizes. While some complain about the crisis, others create opportunities. This difference in thinking shapes decisions, behaviors, and results. Practical example. Someone with a scarcity mindset sees a $200 course and says, it's too expensive. Someone with an abundance mindset sees the same course and thinks, this could make me $2,000 in the future. Immediate action. List 3 limiting phrases you frequently repeat. Rewrite each one in a positive, strategic way. Benefit. You begin to see possibilities where before you only saw obstacles, and that changes everything. Pillar. The decision to pay yourself first. One of the most powerful habits of the wealthy is paying themselves before paying anything else. This means setting aside a portion of their income, however small, to invest or save before paying bills, debts, or making purchases. The poor do the opposite. They receive, pay everything, and if there's any left over, they consider saving. But there's almost never any left over. The wealthy, on the other hand, treat investing as a priority, not an option. Practical example. Set aside 10% of your salary as soon as it arrives in your account and transfer it to an automatic deposit. This builds discipline and prevents impulsive decisions. Immediate action. Set up an automatic debit from your investment account or savings account on payday. Benefit. You begin building security and financial freedom without relying on willpower. The habit does the work for you. Pillar. Invest in knowledge before investing money. The rich know that their greatest asset is their mind. Before investing in any investment, they study, learn, compare, and analyze. The poor often act on impulse, based on a hot tip or out of fear of missing out. Investing without understanding is like driving without knowing where you're going. The risk of loss is enormous. Knowledge, on the other hand, reduces mistakes, increases confidence, and maximizes results. Practical example. Before investing in stocks, read a book like The Intelligent Investor or watch videos from experts. Immediate action. Choose a book, channel, or course on finance and commit to studying for 15 minutes a day. Benefit. You become the protagonist of your financial decisions and avoid falling into traps that drain your money. Pillar. Value of time versus value of money. Rich understand that time is the most valuable asset. They make choices that protect and multiply this resource. They automate tasks, delegate unnecessary tasks, and use their time to think, plan, and create value. The poor, on the other hand, often trade time for money. They accept overtime, odd jobs, and live busy lives, but without progress. Practical example. An entrepreneur dedicates 2 hours a week to studying growth strategies. An employee uses those same hours to binge-watch series. In 1 year, the former can double their income. The latter remains in the same place. Immediate action. List 3 activities that consume your time and generate no return. Eliminate or reduce one of them this week. Benefit. You free up mental and physical space to build something bigger. Your time starts working for your freedom. Pillar. Financial control as a daily habit. The rich know exactly how much they earn, how much they spend, and where every dollar is. They treat money with respect and attention. The poor, on the other hand, live in a state of guesswork. They think they've spent little. They think they're saving. They think they know their balance. Without control, there's no progress. Money slips through small gaps, forgotten subscriptions, impulsive purchases, bank fees, and these gaps become holes. Practical example. Use a finance app to record every expense by category. In 30 days, you'll have a snapshot of your financial life. Immediate action. Download a financial tracking app and start tracking your expenses today. Benefit. You gain clarity, decision-making power, and begin to see previously unseen savings and investment opportunities. Pillar. Building assets instead of accumulating liabilities. Which people build assets? Things that put money in their pockets. Poor people accumulate liabilities, things that take money out of their pockets. This is one of the most striking differences between those who get rich and those who get poor. An asset can be a rental property, dividend-paying stocks, a business, or even a YouTube channel that generates income. Liabilities, on the other hand, are financed cars, electronics paid in installments, or expensive clothes that don't generate a return. Asterisk practical example. One person buys an $80,000 car and finances it in 60 installments. Another invests the same $80,000 in a real estate fund that pays $600 per month. In 5 years, the first will still be making payments. The second will have received $36,000 in income. Immediate action. List everything you own. Classify it as assets or liabilities. Reflect on what you can turn into assets. Benefit you begin building a solid foundation for generating passive income, the fastest path to financial freedom. Asterisk. Pillar. Thinking long. Rich. Make decisions with a vision for the future. The poor live in the present. This difference completely changes the course of one's financial life. Those who think long-term invest, plan, and protect. Those who live in the present spend, improvise, and survive. Practical example. Investing $300 per month for 30 years can generate over $500,000 with compound interest. But this requires patience, vision, and consistency. Asterisk. Immediate action. Set financial goals for 1, 5, and 10 years. Write them down and post them in a visible place. Benefit tree. Stop being a prisoner of immediacy and start building a life with purpose, security, and freedom. Asterisk. Pillar. Social circle selection. The rich surround themselves with people who inspire, challenge, and uplift them. The poor often associate with those who reinforce scarcity, complain about life, and don't seek progress. Your environment directly influences your decisions, ambitions, and behaviors. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If they don't talk about investments, growth, or purpose, you probably won't either. But when you change your circle, you change your mindset. Practical example. Join finance groups, networking events, or follow profiles that share valuable content. Asterisk. Immediate action. Evaluate your top 5 influences. Choose a new source of inspiration to incorporate into your daily life. Benefit. You accelerate your growth by connecting with those who are already where you want to be. Asterisk. Pillar. Taking full responsibility for your financial life. This is the pillar that ties all the others together. The wealthy take 100% responsibility for their own financial lives. They don't blame the government, their boss, the crisis, or their parents. They understand that, even in the face of difficulties, the decision to change is in their own hands. The poor outsource blame, and in doing so, they also outsource power. Without responsibility, there is no transformation. Asterisk. Practical example. Instead of saying I can't save money, say I haven't learned how to organize my finances yet, but I will. Immediate action. Write a declaration. I am responsible for my financial life, and from this day forward, I choose to act like someone who builds wealth. Benefit. You step out of the victim role and into the protagonist role, and that changes everything. Asterisk. Now that you know the 10 pillars that form the financial decision that separates the rich from the poor, it's time to look inward, because more important than understanding each step is deciding to start. Every day you postpone this change is a day your investments could be growing. It's a day you could be closer to freedom, peace of mind, and the life you truly want to live. Asterisk. It doesn't matter where you are today. What matters is the direction you choose to follow, and that direction starts with a simple choice: taking control and consistently applying the pillars you've learned here. Remember, it's not about how much you earn, but how you manage what you have. Wealth is built through daily decisions.